And the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana scheme is a big boost for housing financiers. Let's connect then with the management of HUDCO. The Chairman Managing Director, Sanjay Kulshrestha, is now joining in. Thank you so much for taking time out. Let's discuss this scheme, the expansion of the PMAY scheme to another 3 crore houses. In terms of the kind of demand for affordable home financing, how do you see that growing in light of this scheme?
I think this is one of the best program for the country that the government has decided on the day one. There is a huge demand in the rural sector, and the Honorable Finance Minister in her budget has already announced, and now I think the scheme will go on. State has already identified and started their work to identify the beneficiaries, and with this affordable housing facility available from the government to the rural households, I think this is a unit one which will start entire gamut of the infrastructure development in the rural side. Because once the housing comes, then the aspirations and the expectation of the citizen comes, along with the requirement of the power, education, skill, industrialization, connectivity, mobility. So it will give a traction to entire gamut of the infrastructure development. And HUDCO is a company which supports the Government of India initiatives like PMAY Rural, PMAY Urban. Earlier also we had supported, and we are also lending towards the infrastructure. So this is the best product for the country, and this is the best product for the HUDCO from the Government of India.
Sure. But Mr. Kulshrestha, given that this is a government-led initiative, wouldn't lending under PMAY come at a significantly lower spread for the company?
I think spreads are not an issue, because we are continually working to reduce our cost of funds. During last years also, you may have seen our books that we had reduced our interest rate irrespective of the higher cost of funds in the market. We had reduced by 36 basis points. So I am sure, and we will continue to extend these kind of lower cost funds for these initiatives of Government of India, because we know and we understand that it will give a good tailwind for the company for participation in other infrastructure development works. So as a CPSU, which is holded 75% by the Government of India, so we have to work like that, and the spreads will not be an issue. We will compensate through our cost of funds, lowering our cost of funds, and expanding our business penetration in the volumes, and resolving our stress assets. So I don't think that it will put any pressure on the spreads.
Sure, point taken. But sir, just wanted to get a sense. A part of the street believes that one of the better ways of perhaps supporting the rural housing would have been the extension of the credit subsidy scheme, because that would be more beneficial for players like you as well. Is that something which you're expecting, and would you concur with the view?
I think we are expecting, and there are enough signals from the budget also, which was presented by Honorable Finance Minister. So there are enough signals from the government. I think this is only the step one. We are waiting for other steps also from the Government of India.
And also in the earlier, earlier version of the PMAY CLSS scheme was there. What was your contribution in terms of numbers? How many houses or how many disbursements happened in that? What's the expectation this time around? What could be your target share? Because I think some of the other private players managed to take a lion's share in the earlier scheme.
See, these all schemes are for the development of the country and for the beneficiaries. Like HUDCO, we had already contributed in PMAY by Urban. We had extended around 2,200 crores to the beneficiaries. And actually, our working of HUDCO is slightly different, because we extend the Government of India programs up to the beneficiaries. At the same time, we want that infrastructure has to be developed in a viable and sustainable manner. So we work with the state governments to see that how these schemes can be leveraged and how HUDCO can be benefited. And this was PMAY was one of the most successful programs which has reached its objective, and now it is the extended part. And I'm sure that HUDCO will support in entirety towards this initiative of the government.
Confirm if you said that you had participated to the tune of 2,200 crore earlier, and if that's true, what's the expectation from this time around? Any guidance that you can help us with?
Presently, I cannot say, because the scheme is not yet out. But yes, whatever the counterpart fundings required by the state governments as their component, we will be happy to fund the state government at very, very affordable pricing.
About your overall book, Mr. Kulshrestha, because you guided for disbursements coming in at about 32 to 35,000 crore rupees for FY25. Is it achievable? Because it was a little wobbly, as we understand, in FY24.
See, in FY24, if you compare our FY24 with FY23, we were around 8,000 crores in FY23, and we had achieved around 18,000 disbursement in FY24. So I think the tailwinds are with the company, and we will be doing this kind of progress in this financial year also. And I am sure we will be doing most of the disbursement in the quarter 1, so that it will impact our bottom line also. So everything is planned, projects are sanctioned, and we are on board with the state government, and we are monitoring these projects so that our program should not get disturbed. So I'm sure, and I have no doubt that we will be achieving between 35,000, at least 35,000 crores of the disbursement. Last year also, we had grown our loan book by 15%. You may have seen, and we had raised our profits also by 35%. So I think there is a lot of opportunities for companies like HUDCO, who are actually the funding support for the infrastructure. At the same time, we are also providing the consultancy and the capacity building. So in fact, we are extending a 360-degree kind of holistic support for the state government and Government of India initiative for infrastructure development for Viksit Bharat.
Just in light of this, then, what do you believe over the next 5 years would be a sustainable growth rate?
I think for our company, if you are asking, we will be growing around 20%. I have no doubt. Initially, it may be around 25%, but we will be settling at around 20%.
Okay, and then what about the profitability metrics? Yes, top line growth of 20% is sustainable, but on the NIMS front, on the profitability bit, is there going to be a bit of a moderation this year because of the overall dynamics at play? Or are you confident of maintaining or improving that?
I think we are working at a very, very sustainable kind of spread. If you have seen our spreads of 1.6 to 1.8% and NIM of around 3.3, 3.5%, I think these are most manageable kind of NIMs and the spread. And I don't think any pressure will come on the company. And there are several products through which we are getting our incomes. And at the same time, we are continuously making our efforts to reduce our cost of funds so that the yield can be maintained. At the same time, we are discussing with the Government of India that how we can pitch in, how we can get the help from the Government of India to further cut down our cost of funds.
You were aiming to become a Maharatna company as well, sir. Tell us how far or how close are you in that journey?
See, recently in April only we had been conferred as a Navratna company. So I am still absorbing that thing, and because it is coming with a lot of responsibility for the company, because this Navratna and Maharatna, everything which is conferred by government, it comes with the responsibility. So presently, I am enjoying the status of the Navratna for the company, and we are trying that it should be expanded and extracted towards all the stakeholders. But at the same time, our long-term objective will be to become the Maharatna. But finally, these are objective parameters to decide on the Maharatna. So whenever we will meet that objective, I think by 2030, we are maintaining an internal initiative to become a Maharatna. But let's see, because 2030 will be quite long. So we are planning for another 2 years to have our loan book at around 1.5 lakh.
1.5 lakh within 2 years. But sir, if I have it right, your disbursements toward affordable housing as a contribution to total sales and total disbursement has been coming off. I mean, in FY21 and 2019, etc., it was close to 40-45%. It's down anywhere between 15 to 20% now. Going forward, what will be the total contribution of incremental disbursements coming in from affordable housing versus the rest of the pack?
I think it must be increasing because government has already came out with this 3 crore program. So counterpart affordable funding will be done by HUDCO. So I will not go into the figures because it depends on the state government and the absorption capacity of the state government. But at the same time, we will be the primary player in the infrastructure development of the country.
Bulk of the impact to happen in FY25 itself?
Sorry?
Do you expect the bulk of the impact to be front-loaded into FY25 itself?
I think so, because 3 months had already started, so states are already ready. So I'm sure that the program will start on a big blow, and a lot of disbursement will occur during this financial year.
Right. Okay, Mr. Kulshrestha, great to have you on the show today. Thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking with us.